Namaste. Welcome to Astro Saraswat, where we shall try to understand astrology for what it really is, without trying to make it appear like a quick fix to our problems, which it really is not. So, the thing is that many people approach astrology with the perception that the astrologer will give some kind of an advice, some kind of an upay, or remedy which is going to somehow change life, and all of a sudden the person can get married and have a good job and earn lots of money, become famous, all that kind of stuff, just by doing some kind of an upay, or remedy. Now, that's not how it actually works. Jyotish means the knowledge which brings light, Jyoti. So it throws light on life. That is what astrology really does. It tells us what is happening in our life, why is it happening because of previous karmas, and what can we expect is going to be happening in the future. Now, yes, if there are certain bad planetary combinations, although it's really difficult to categorize as planetary combinations as good or bad, they are definitely tough ones, but it really depends on the perspective. For somebody looking to deepen their spiritual understanding, for somebody looking to improve themselves, correct themselves, for them even the tough planetary combinations can prove to be quite helpful. Whereas sometimes good planetary combinations can actually bring complacency into a person's life, because you're just too relaxed to put in the effort that's needed to actually get things done. So there's not really good or bad, but yeah, I mean, we can't really fix things. Astrology is there to throw light on life, to show us what really is happening. If you think about it, actually, if it were all a question of doing upay and fixing certain planets, then life all of a sudden becomes perfect. Then why isn't the life of all astrologers perfect? I mean, they should know perfectly well what is needed to be done according to their chart, but even their lives are not perfect, because that is not the purpose of astrology. Astrology is basically, it's a lifestyle. It shows us how we should be living life, and it is very individual. It's not generalized, it's very individual. Like, for example, let's take Ayurveda. Ayurveda is also a lifestyle. Yoga is a lifestyle. It's not just you do it for 10 days and then you all of a sudden get healed and disease free and perfectly fit. That's not how it works. It's something which tells us how we should be eating on a regular basis, how we should be moving our body on a regular basis. And in the same way, astrology tells us how we should be approaching life on a regular basis. Rather than trying to fix anything, it tells us about how to live life. For example, if somebody's sun is weak in the chart, right, that can affect a person's confidence, that can affect a person's relationship with their father, that can affect a person's career. So many things can be affected because of having a weak sun. Now, the solution is not really to wear a ring, a ruby. That's not the solution, or to do a yagya or a particular puja, and then all of a sudden everything is okay. No, look at your habits. How are you treating your father? How are you behaving with other fatherly figures in your life? How are you dealing with the government? Are you avoiding taxes? Are you somehow or the other misbehaving with government personnel? So it really depends on how you're behaving. Or perhaps you are sleeping too much during the day when the sun is out, which is actually not the system according to the Vedas. So it really depends on how a person is living their life. So if you want to have things good in your life, if you want your relationship with your father to be good, if you want your career to be good, well, you got to actually put in the effort. You got to start treating your father well. You got to start respecting elderly men. You got to start respecting fatherly figures. You got to start behaving nicely with the government. I mean, these are just things which you have to do, and you do these things. You don't need rings, or you don't need pujas. And when you do puja, when you do propitiate a deity, then it should be done with the knowledge that that personality is there, and it should be done with a certain amount of repentance, and I have done something wrong in my previous life, because of which I am given this placement of the planet, which I need to now work on. So that sense of repentance has to be there. That I need to correct something in myself. It's not just a quick fix. It cannot be a quick fix. So these are things which are really important to keep in mind. The way we approach astrology is so important. It's not just, what does a planet do when it's in a particular sign or in a particular house. It really is a question of understanding the planet and why is it behaving in a particular way, when it is in a certain sign or in a certain house, and what can we really do in a practical way to improve our lives with the help of astrology. So subscribe and follow if you want to know how to deal with these things and how to actually understand astrology.